You all little children them, you all need to realize, do your school work, company and everything. But all of y'all right here, I just pray, y'all ain't got to do. And then I gotta lay you all out and cut you all over quick.
Soldier or a troop, it's too late for excuse. What you gonna do?
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, the weekend edition, tracking Hurricane Lee. A traffic fatality over in Grand Bahama. A special honor for the Prime Minister. And in sports, Tyrann Knowles gets his second pro card. The Bahamas tonight, the weekend edition, starts now. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition. I'm Jimenita Swain. Topping news, Hurricane Lee barreling through the open waters of the Atlantic as the first Category 5 storm of the season. Joining us in studio for an update on Hurricane Lee is Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil, and what's the latest on Lee?
Good evening, Jimenita. The latest on Lee. Lee is some 350 miles to the east-northeast of the northern Leeward Islands. As you can see here in our satellite picture, Lee is moving west-northwest at 12 miles per hour. Maximum sustained wind have decreased to 115 miles per hour, but Lee still remains a very powerful Category 3 hurricane as it continues to move towards the west-northwest. Now, in the far eastern Atlantic, we also have Tropical Storm Margot, which is some 970 miles to the west-northwest of the Cape Verde Islands. That, too, is moving west-northwest at 12 miles per hour. Maximum sustained winds 45 miles per hour, but neither of these systems pose any threat to land at this time. Jimenita?
Basil, now to the crime report. A traffic fatality recorded on the island of Grand Bahama that claimed the life of a 33-year-old man. Police say it was sometime around 5 a.m. on Saturday when the male driver of a black Nissan rolled over an unidentified object in the street in the area of Holmes Rock. Upon stopping to investigate it, the driver reportedly discovered the body of a lifeless male with injuries. A local doctor visited the scene and pronounced the victim dead. Investigations continue. Well, in a bid to keep its citizens on the right side of the law and avoiding arrest for bringing firearms or ammunition into the country, the United States Embassy here in the Bahamas has another advisory. This one, an update to the travel.state.gov Bahamas page to reflect the criminal penalties attached to traveling unlawfully with such weapons. The information is found under the Local Laws and Special Circumstances tab, and it states firearms and ammunition and other weapons are not permitted in the Bahamas. U.S. Embassy Nassau wishes to advise its traveling citizens that declaring a weapon in your luggage with an airline carrier does not grant permission to bring the weapon into the Bahamas and may result in arrest. If a U.S. citizen illegally brings a firearm or ammunition into the Bahamas, U.S. Embassy Nassau will not be able to secure their release from custody. The website reminds U.S. citizens that all foreign nationals are subject to Bahamian law and must follow local enforcement procedures. However, if you are arrested or detained, ask police or prison officials to notify the U.S. Embassy immediately. In other news, CARICOM's Eminent Persons Group today left Haiti after several days of discussions on its ongoing socioeconomic and political situation. According to a recent United Nations report, violence in Haiti during the second quarter of this year jumped nearly 14% compared to the first quarter. And this as the island's capital, Port-au-Prince, continues to be largely controlled by gangs. The three-man EPG, which counts former Prime Minister the Right Honorable Perry Christie as a member, has been tasked with finding a political compromise that would lead to the country's stabilization, paving way for elections. So far, the group has spoken with a cross-section of Haiti's population, representative groups, the United Nations, and other stakeholders in the United States and Canada. It's been suggested that the EPG submit a document to stakeholders that focuses on the balance of power, the inclusion and the responsibility of the High Transitional Council. Meantime, the Bahamas is gearing up to play host to the agriculture ministers from across the region and other regional key industry officials during the week-long Caribbean Agriculture Week to be held for the first time in the event's history here in the Bahamas. The theme of the event is Accelerating Vision 25 by 2025. Outgoing Agriculture and Marine Resources Minister Clay Sweeting says hosting the event shows the region how serious the country is about issues like food security, as well as its role as a leader in agriculture in the region. He outlined some of the key focus areas of the week's activities.
During the various planned activities and sessions, we will host over 40 technical sessions, and we'll dive into critical topics such as climate change, animal health, food safety, plant health, fisheries, agricultural research, innovation, digitization, youth and women in agriculture, and trade facilitation.
As noted, Minister Sweeting is being reassigned to a new ministry. His replacement at Agriculture will be the Honorable Jumo Campbell, who's excited about chairing the sessions. This will be among his first official duties after assuming the helm at the ministry.
Exciting. As you heard, 17 years, this is the first time the Bahamas is hosting it. I consider it a privilege to be in the chair at that time. With regard to receiving the baton from Minister Clay Sweeting, as you know, in any relay, speed is not the only factor. Also, the skill and the technique of receiving that baton that could actually impact the outcome of the race.
Well, delegates will be here to attend the week of activities that take place October 9th through the 13th. Still to come in the weekend edition, the Star Apple organization lauds the Prime Minister. We'll tell you why after the break.
With the help of our authorized financial institutions, or AFIs, using sand dollars is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Step 1. Identify your preferred AFI by browsing their websites or contacting them directly. Step 2. Download the free mobile application from Google Play or the Apple Store and then register for a sand dollar account. Step 3. Load money onto your mobile app and begin sending and receiving sand dollars or purchasing and selling goods and services.
We are pleased to be
your central bank approved
digital wallet providers. It does not matter
which of us you choose.
You can pay for goods and services
wherever sand dollar is accepted.
We are all in this together.
Visit sanddollar.bs for more information.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Focall Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
Thanks for staying with us. Star Apple, a local, relatively young organization of 2 years, it's putting its resources where its objectives are in empowering the female gender. Some of its members, comprising of about 40 women, are in Orlando, Florida, in support of the nation's leader, the Honorable Philip Davis, receiving the prestigious Global Impact Leader of the Year award by Onyx Magazine's Men of Honor during the 23rd annual awards ceremony. That ceremony is tonight. CEO of the Star Apple organization is Mildred Murphy.
So I am traveling with a group of ladies so we can all cheer on our Prime Minister this afternoon at the awards. It's very important. And I'll tell you why it's important, because who doesn't want a seat at the table? Who doesn't want to be in the room? So it is important to me to include as much people as possible to experience it. The greatest gift anyone can give to anybody is access. And as long as Star Apple is here, we'll try our endeavor best to give as many people access as possible.
In other news, on Wednesday, a number of women from corporate Bahamas gathering at the Balmoral Club, taking part in the 2023 PACE Foundation Character Day workshop. While the PACE Foundation works with challenged teen mothers, they say character development remains a struggle for many. As a result, President Sonia Brown shares why this workshop remains important to all Bahamians.
As a part of our prevention strategy, it occurred to us, why don't we provide character education to as many persons as possible, starting with kids in schools. By extension, to close the circle, we figured we could also operate this character training to people in the workplace who are parents, right? So, this is very important to us as a part of nation building. We want to make sure that everybody in the Bahamas gets a chance to be their very best self.
Guest speakers Patrice Taylor and Dr. Nyambi Hall Campbell sharing tips on self-love, workplace diversity, and inclusion.
When you create a culture of high DEI, you position yourself to win the war for talent. You position yourself to win the war for talent. Why? Because when we intentionally monitor the demographic in the workplace, we know that we are now able to get the cream of the crop.
The most important relationship that you'll ever have in your life is your relationship with God, and then your relationship with yourself. With yourself.
An outstanding performance on national exams, demonstrating the power of the human spirit and amazing acts of courage. These were among the moments our Colville Pyfrom shows that made us smile this past week.
Yes, Jimanita, it was a week that we smiled about success. This now 10th grade QC student, 15-year-old Xanthi Ferguson, top of the class nationally for her stellar performance in the BJC exams, a jaw-dropping 12 A's.
I looked through the syllabuses, I got past papers, I sat down, and I knew what I was going to study for over the weeks.
We can all borrow a page from her book on how to organize. A good old-fashioned human gesture in the form of a modern-day dap. During a busy police traffic operation this week, Jimmy observed this officer take a moment to interact with these passers-by, being sure to ask the younger passenger about her day at school. And heroism exemplified and celebrated. This group of Atlantis and Riu lifeguards recently saw some swimmers in trouble at the mercy of a ferocious ocean. They sprung into action, one of them even risking his own life, swimming further out and solo to rescue one of those in trouble.
They prove what it truly means to be a guardian of life.
Their efforts garnering notice from even the Prime Minister. We call them heroes. They say it's all in a day's work. The world is heavy, our plates are full, but a smile sure helps to lighten the load, and it never costs a thing. Here's to a super weekend and an even greater week ahead. I'm Corvell Pyfrom for the Bahamas Tonight. In case you missed the news or want to stay ahead, subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow us on X, TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook.
Good to grow. Keeping you in the know. Keeping you in the know. God, it's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow. It's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources' long-awaited Agrarian Awards is just a few days away. September 16th at 7 p.m. at Margaritaville, farmers will walk away with top prizes. Finalists for Female Farmer of the Year are Shavara Roker-Enyas of Chickcharney Farms, Whitlin Miller of Sunset Organic Farms, Norma Roberts of Mama Bling Farms in Grand Bahama, and Kevita Green of Duncan Coppice in South Andros. For Male Farmer of the Year, Year. The finalists are Terrence Roberts III of Berkshire Farms in Grand Bahama, Sidney Sinclair of Down to Earth Adventure Farms in New Providence, Ty Gideon of Gideon Farms in Abaco, and Christopher Higgs of Higgs Organic Farm Products here in New Providence. For Governor General Community Farm of the Year, Treasure Key Community Aquaponics Farm in Abaco, Eat and Teach Clinic Farms in New Providence, and Seasonal Sunshine Bahamas in New Providence will contend for that prize. Youth Female Farmer of the Year finalists include Frederica Dames of Deluxe Farm Company in South Andros, Diore Scott of Grammy Jude's Organic Poultry Eggs in New Providence, Takai Bain, and Kiara McKenzie will all contend for that prize. For the Prime Minister's Youth Male Farmer of the Year, those finalists include Kobe Forbes of New Century Farming in Long Island, Devontae Roll in Exuma, Fintai Bethine of Vacations in Paradise Farms in New Providence, and Tyreek Fowler. Now it's up to the Blue Ribbon panel to decide who will walk away as the winners. That's September 16th at 7 p.m. at Margaritaville. Tune in to the ministry's Facebook page where you can watch the live streaming of that event. For Good to Grow, I'm Georgie O'Bain.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station. Open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
Vibrant heart of the Bahamas, a common loftier goal unites us all. A place where love and unity thrive, where world-class technology is accessible and affordable, connecting every generation. We believe in our heritage and the boundless potential that lies within us. We believe in Bahamians.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Welcome to your Saturday Sports, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports news. It was certainly a memorable weekend in Tampa, Florida for bodybuilder Teran Knowles at the Gardner Tampa Extravaganza in Tampa, Florida. Knowles took the overall title after winning the men's physique category. He followed that up by claiming a pair of pro cards in the Masters over 35 and over 40 men's physique. We recently popped over at Empire Fitness to speak with him on the accomplishment.
So initially, when I first started bodybuilding, which would have been in 2014, I went out just haphazardly, just playing with it, having fun, and not making any means of it. But when it became on my competitive side, I decided to actually focus and research and decided to shoot for something, which would have been the first pro card that I attained in 2019, Pro Elite. What pro means is you're on another level from an amateur, from a novice, and you have the opportunity not to only actually compete, but actually win funds, right? If you get the top 5, there's a payout at the, or reward at the end, so it makes you more marketable as well. It makes you more noticeable because our big platform of bodybuilding and fitness is global. So you want to be that guy when you go and change your IG name to IFBB. People realize that you're in this for the real haul and for the long run.
As for what it means for him.
What it means to me is an elevation to what I've been seeing in the past as it relates to me competing or being a competitor. You always want to level up, and this for me is an opportunity to do something that was never done on this particular level for myself. And I just focused on that. And like I would have said with the last interview that I had, I said I made it personal, right? And the Pittsburgh North American Nationals was that personal to me because I know I had an opportunity to gain another pro status.
NFL Flag hosting a local coaches clinic earlier this week, something they plan to do annually as they continue to grow the sport here at home.
Well, it's extremely important because it refreshes everything in their minds from an understanding from a rule standpoint to be able, because I go in and I check the rule book on a yearly basis. There may be some minor adjustments, but we all learn by doing. We all learn by studying. We all learn by repetitions. And it's extremely important that as we get through the program on a yearly basis, that we go back and revisit those study habits, look inside. And we all know that once we read a book, we may read it once, but when we go back and start reading it over again, we learn so much more the second time around.
And recently re-elected GSSA President Ralph Davis recapping the year she and her team had after high school sports returned for the first time since the COVID-19 pandemic.
We know that's I call it pandemic year. We came back after the pandemic, and we didn't know how the year is going to be. But I thank God that we had a successful year, and it was tough because children didn't do anything in 2 years, and so we worked very hard to get them where we need to get them. And if you look around last year, we had a park gym with the soccer, softball, baseball. The basketball gym is packed. It must be every night. And so sports is coming back in the GSSA.
And that's look at your sports on this Saturday. A check on weather when we return.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
With the help of our authorized financial institutions, or AFIs, using sand dollars is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Step 1. Identify your preferred AFI by browsing their websites or contacting them directly. Step 2. Download the free mobile application from Google Play or the Apple Store and then register for a sand dollar account. Step 3. Load money onto your mobile app and begin sending and receiving sand dollars or purchasing and selling goods and services.
We are pleased to be
your central bank approved
digital wallet providers. It does not matter
Which of us you choose,
you can pay for goods and services
wherever sand dollar is accepted.
We are all in this together.
Visit sanddollar.bs for more information.
ZNS wants to thank all those who entered the new college freshman giveaway. And out of all the entries, 15 finalists have been chosen. These finalists will be receiving prizes from Comfort Suites, Security Depot, Atlantis Resort, Cafe Channing Noel, and BTC. We want to thank our sponsors for these wonderful prizes. We also want to send all contestants the very best wishes and good luck on a successful freshman year in college.
In 1953, the United States began using a female name for storms. And by 1978, both male and female names were used to identify northern Pacific storms. This was then adopted in 1979 for storms in the Atlantic Basin. The National Hurricane Center does not control the naming of tropical storms. Instead, there is a strict procedure established by the World Meteorological Organization for Atlantic hurricanes. There is a list of male and female names which are used on a 6-year rotation. The only time that there is a change is if the storm is so deadly or costly that the future use of its name on a different storm would be inappropriate. These are the names of storms for the 2023 Atlantic hurricane season: Arlene, Brett, Cindy, Dawn, Emily, Franklin, Gert, Harold, Idalia, Jose, Katia, Lee, Margot, Nigel, Ophelia, Philippe, Rena, Sean, Tammy, Vince, Whitney. This public service announcement was brought to you by the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas in conjunction with the National Emergency Management Agency.
The thought of colon cancer never really crossed my mind until 2019, when a very good friend of mine was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. I was shocked. Everybody was shocked because he was a picture of perfect health. He was young, athletic, successful, and full of life. Many of us are still in disbelief. I started to question my own health because if it happened to him, surely it could happen to me. Then came the fear, the anxiety, and everything else in between. Facing your own mortality is very sobering. But for me, I decided right then to have a colonoscopy, and I'm glad I did.
Colon cancer is the third most common cancer diagnosed in Bahamian men and women. Fortunately, almost all colon cancers are preventable. A colonoscopy or some other appropriate form of colon cancer screening is recommended for everyone over the age of 45. During a colonoscopy, we can detect and remove colon polyps that may grow and later become colon cancers. Don't wait until you develop symptoms, such as blood in your stool, abdominal pain, a significant change in your bowel habits, or unintentional weight loss. These may all be indications of a severe problem that requires immediate attention. If you're over the age of 45 or have any of those symptoms, talk to your doctor about the benefits of colon cancer screening today.
It's time now for a check on tonight's weather forecast. Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean joins us in studio with the latest temperatures. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Jimenita. We have partly cloudy skies, temperature 84 degrees, the relative humidity at 73%, southeast winds at 6 miles per hour, the barometric pressure 1,015.0 millibars. That is 29.97 inches. And your temperatures around the Family Violence this evening, 87 degrees in Marshall, Abaco, Greenville, Key, also in Freeport, Grand Bahama, there at 87 degrees, the Berry Islands 83, Allenstown, Bimini 82 degrees, 86 in Harper Island and Roxanne, Eleuthera, Black Point, Exuma 88, 88 also in Camp Space on Andros. Fresh Week in Central Andros have a temperature of 86 degrees. Allenstown, Cat Island, San Salvador and Rum Key 86 degrees, Georgetown, Exuma at 89 degrees, 88 in Ragged Island, Clownstown, Long Island and Crooked Island. Betsy Bay, 89, Acklands, 89, Machitani, Naguat, 88, and the Turks and Caicos Islands also reported 88 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight through Sunday in the northwest and central islands, southeast winds 10 to 15 knots, the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. The low tide, that will take place at 11:31 tonight, not a low tide at 11:23 tomorrow morning. Now for the southeast Bahamas through Sunday, easterly winds 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet, but on Sunday, those large swells will begin to affect the southeast parts of the Bahamas. And taking a look at the tropics, we still have Hurricane Lee. At 5 o'clock this afternoon, Lee was some 310 miles to the northeast of the northern Leeward Islands. It's moving towards the west-northwest at 10 miles per hour, so Lee has slowed down in order to make that eventual turn towards the north. Maximum sustained winds at 115 miles per hour, but we expect some gradual intensification of this system. And by Monday, it could be back up to a Category 4 and possibly a Category 5 by Monday morning as well. And then we'll see some weakening of that system, but still remaining a very powerful hurricane at a Category 4 as it continues that trek towards the north, remaining well to the east of the Bahamas. Just in case you were concerned, we are completely out of the cone, but nevertheless, very large swells will continue to affect the southeast Bahamas starting on Sunday, and that will gradually work its way into the central Bahamas and the northwest Bahamas during the early part of next week. Satellite picture showing that trough that moved across the capital this morning that dumped some heavy rains over parts of the area that continues to drift slowly towards the west. And tonight we are looking at a shower in spots this evening, otherwise partly cloudy and very warm. The low temperature tonight, 81 degrees. Tomorrow, partly sunny and 90 degrees as that trough moves out of the area, opening up the skies to mostly sunny conditions. And your extended weather forecast, lots of sunshine remaining in the forecast right into Thursday, and we got to get back up into those 90s, so some very steamy temperatures over the next several days. So it wouldn't be until about Friday before we see some more showers back in our forecast. Jimenita.
Well, thanks, Basil. Before we go, a special happy birthday to Kathleen Etienne. We hope you enjoyed your day. And that will end the Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition. We thank you for continuing to make ZNS your #1 news and information network, as only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. On behalf of the entire team, thanks for watching and good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.